Hi, I'm Alex Kameth. I'm the International Expansion Manager of Kubo, and it's today my honor to be with Inez Guillen, the Chief Operating Officer of Dossier, one of our best clients. On behalf of everybody at Kubo, I'd like to say bienvenidos a Kubo, bem-vindo a Kubo, and welcome to Kubo. So thank you so much, Inez, for being here. I'd like to ask you, how's your experience been in the Mexican market so far, and what's that journey been like for your brand?
The journey has been amazing, and we're so happy to be in the Mexican market. So we are a DTC company. We first started in the US market, and as we kept growing, we really wanted to diversify our revenue. And then Mexico was definitely an opportunity that we took, and we're super happy because so far growth is there. Super happy with our customers. They seem super happy with us too. So it's been a beautiful journey, and we are so ready to go to the next step together.
Great. And a lot of brands are looking at, Mexico and Brazil from the outside, brands from Europe, the United States, all over the world. And how did you guys start thinking about your plan to enter the market? How did you think about marketing? How did you think about whether it made sense financially to make this move? Because it is a big move to open up a new market,
Yeah, exactly. So we are a DTC e-commerce company based in New York City, and we had our sales in the US. And then what happened is we decided to launch the Mexican website thanks to actually Brian. Oh. So Brian sent us a cold email back in the days. And with Sergio, we were super focused on our growth in the US, but at the same time, we were also ready to enter new markets. So the way that it worked and the way that things happen with the Mexican market is that we actually launched our Mexican website with no product available on the website, just with a notify me button.
Okay.
Because we just wanted to basically understand how much. So we started advertising on Meta, and what we did is we just wanted to see how much a click, the cost of a click, as well as a captured email. And the way we started our first marketing campaign was basically we took our most successful ads in the US that we translated in Spanish, started advertising on Meta, and then we launched it, and the results were great. And that's how we started.
And was it just as simple as that, looking at your website in the US and just translating it into Spanish, keeping your price points the same? And was it just as simple as that, looking at your website in the US and just translating it into Spanish, keeping your price points the same?
Yeah, exactly.
No because special magic there, right?
Exactly. We didn't know how the Mexican customers will interact with our price point. So basically, we just took the American website, the US website, we duplicated for the Mexico website. We translated everything into Spanish. Same for our ads. We took the most successful ad that we had in the US market, translated into Spanish, and then we were just let's see. So that's why also when we launched in Mexico, we didn't want to have right away some perfumes because again, what was really important for us just to know if Mexico was a good opportunity. We wanted to know the cost of a click. We also wanted to know the cost of a captured email. And from there, it was definitely amazing. Everything was so lower compared to the US that we were all right, let's ship some perfumes. And that's how we started.
And what were those kind of analyses internally when you're thinking about, unit economics, average order value? I mean, on our side, we're experts at logistics and bringing your product in and helping you fulfill inside the country. But you guys are the experts at that. So a lot of the times when I'm talking to brands, they're really curious about unit economics and how do you think about this? It's a new market. How did that work for you?
So the way we look at it is the same way we do in the US. So we look at the AOV.
Okay.
And then also we look at the margin after COGS, logistics, and pay marketing costs. And we always try to be profitable at least after starting the first order after marketing cost.
Okay.
So that's very important for us. So same way as in the US. And so far, the cost per click is lower than in the US.
Yeah.
And just in general, e-com is less competitive than in the US and Mexico.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So that's really an amazing opportunity for us. The CAC is lower, the influencer marketing, there are so many opportunities that we wanted to take. And basically we have we've had an amazing growth in the US. and we mastered paid marketing, our influencer program. And we just basically duplicating in Mexico. Obviously, we had to do some little twists to make it work because it's like a different market. But so far, so good. And that's how we started.
Yeah, and it's amazing, how fast you guys have grown. I think so it's been almost exactly 1 year. Then we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary. You guys launched in August of 22, 0 orders. And how did that go? So, day one, you had done that pre-work on the website, and then what was the type of pace of growth, or how did you see that those efforts that you had put in that pre-work and being a little bit careful in the planning, how did that happen in month 1, month 2? Like, how was the growth for you guys?
So what happened is right now on our catalog of perfume, we have more than 80 different SKUs. So it's like a big catalog, right? And then...
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you guys were there, you had, we just got you had done the pre-work. And then how did you guys experience that growth in the first 2 months? Yeah. What were you seeing in terms of growth?
So what happened is as soon as we were okay, our ads are successful and definitely Mexico is an amazing market for us, an amazing opportunity. We decided to launch our products. And we have more than 80 SKUs in our catalog. Yeah. And we literally we were let's have the full catalog in Mexico, even if logistically wise, it's a little bit complicated. Yeah. We're let's have the full catalog over there so we do not miss any sales. And basically, within the first 3 months after we launched, month 3, we had more than 2,000 orders per month, which is super, super cool. Wow. And now that it's been a year, we have around 8,000 orders per month. So the growth is here. It's really cool. And we're super proud because it's just the beginning. It's been only a month. And something also that we realized and we're super proud of is that the growth in Mexico was faster than the one that we had in the US when we launched. So also we benefited from the US awareness that we have. Yeah. But that's something that we're really proud of because it was definitely faster. So we're proud of that.
Yeah, I think you guys are amazing. You guys are growing like wildfire in the United States. You really know how to work, social media campaigns, all of that stuff. Yeah. And I think, like you were saying, it's like wide open territory here in Mexico. Exactly. The market, I believe, is not as caught up to best practices that are existing in the US. And so you can really get more return for your ad spend and more return. Is that kind of your experience here?
Yes, definitely. The cost per click lower, the CAC is lower. At the beginning, the conversion were lower, obviously, just because we started. But at the same time, we had no reputation in Mexico. Yeah. And with paid marketing, with influencer, it's always you always have an opportunity for growth. So as soon as our metrics were good, AOV was good, the CAC was lower than the US, it was definitely an amazing opportunity for us. And also something that we discovered down the road is that our Mexican customers, so they love social media. Yeah. And, since we didn't have any presence in Mexico, we realized that they were reaching out to us so much on social media. It's their favorite channel so far. Wow. And they were just asking us for the products, the perfume, the smell, the longevity and everything. Yeah. So we built trust over time. And it definitely really helped our growth because we were there with the customer care service to help them, to educate them, to tell them about our product. And I think this also helped so much our growth. Yeah. Just because we were out there making sure to always answer them. So that's something that we realized. And another cool thing that we realized about our Mexican customers is that there are fewer returns, fewer cancellation. Wow. Yeah. And fewer exchange. So that's also something that is pretty cool because they love our products.
Yeah, and payments has not been a problem, right? It's, almost all your sales are credit card based, right? Exactly. And so it's not an issue for you to collect the funds from these customers.
And PayPal. And so far, at some point, we were oh, what about the fraud? But there is an app called No Fraud that we just put under the Mexican website. And basically, they screen every order. Great. And if there is anything fraudulent, they just put it on hold and we just cancel the order. And at the beginning, we were oh, how are we going to handle this? Yeah. And honestly, it's the fraudulent orders is such a low percentage that it's not even it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And I think our tech team worked with you as well as an integration. And that's kind of what we do, help you out, whatever you need, right?
Yes. So far, Kubo. So something that I love about you guys is you're an amazing partner. And the way we see you is we see you as a full-in partner in this adventure, just because you help us like at a 3PL fulfillment center. So 3PL fulfillment center where you're like pack, ship, package. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Sorry, I had a moment of like. So basically, we see you like as an amazing partner, and it's really like a all-in partner where you guys help us as a 3PL fulfillment center, where you pick, pack, ship our products.
Yeah.
But also something that we're super grateful is that you also help us on regulation, on customs, being importer of our goods. And that's something that is amazing because we didn't know anything about the Mexican market. And even if we mastered everything in the US and we feel super confident about, like our way of working ops-wise in the US, we didn't really know like how we're going to handle Mexico. And thanks to you guys, you were like helping us every step of the way, like regulation, like product regulation, like what we need to make sure to pass customs and everything. So that's something that is pretty cool. And also we do appreciate you so much because all of the knowledge and expertise that you have in Mexico, you always told us like, give us advice and feedback. And like Rosu, for example, it was like, guys, it's like the hot sale, like make sure to be ready. Or like, guys, it's Buen Fin, make sure to be ready. And this helped us tremendously to prepare and be ready for the growth and our sales.
Yeah, and I think growth, I mean, from our perspective at Kubo, we're always happy to have, amazing brands from abroad like you guys come in. And
thank you.
We want to focus on growth. We know that's important to you. We want to, help you get that trust to really enter the market.
Definitely.
And work together. And you mentioned hot sale, Buen Fin. So there's obviously cyclical times. You mentioned 8,000 orders a month, but there's been times where you've exceeded that, right? Like there's 2 periods of the year that you guys really see a lot of growth, right?
Yeah. And especially in the perfume industry, there is a lot of seasonality.
Yeah.
So you need to have a growth every month, but also you have peak when there is like for example, in Mexico, the hot sale or Buen Fin, Black Friday. Definitely you have way much more growth here. So that's something that is super helpful.
And we've been there with you, kind of trying to help you plan your inventory and make sure that we're ready to help you guys out.
That's been definitely like an interesting road, just because when we launched in Mexico, again, we wanted to have like the full catalog. And like the way that you sell perfume, like it depends, like your bestseller, the velocity is definitely much higher than like perfume that you don't sell that much and everything. So inventory planning was definitely something interesting because we wanted to have like the full catalog and making sure that we have no out of stock. But at some point, so we had forecast, but when it's your first year, how do you forecast?
Yeah, and it's so tough because you guys are growing so fast.
Exactly.
So any kind of planning that we do on our end, it's like you guys are exceeding those numbers, and it's good. It's a good problem to have.
It's definitely an amazing problem to have. So we have our forecast. We're checking the sales daily, and then we also have like projected out of stock. So based on like the stock that we have at Kubo, based on the sales, when are we going to be out of stock? And then we've been working together so much on the replenishment. And that's something we're super grateful because it's been super helpful for us, like working on a very strong retro planning, like every single step of like replenishment and like inventory planning. So definitely like our goal is never to miss a sale, always have products available. We want to have like stock coverage for every of our perfume. But at the same time, the growth is like so great that we always exceed the forecast. And for example, during the hot sale, like at the end of May,
that was a fantastic time.
That was so fantastic. But basically, we sold 3 times more than we anticipated. So it was like 3 months of inventory that was gone, and then we had to work so much and so fast on replenishment. So that was again, it's like an amazing problem to have, but that was an interesting road. And honestly, without you guys, we could not have done it because. So the way that it works for our perfume is that we took the US stock and then thanks to you, we put everything in Laredo, Texas, where we had to do some little like adjustment for our packaging just to make sure that we cross customs, like a back sticker with all the product like information on it. And then everything then go to like Mexico. And you know that it's been a year already and we feel so confident with the Mexican market that right now, we decided to actually produce all of our perfume in France at our filler, like manufacture in France, and then ship directly to Mexico because initially we didn't know how the Mexican market was going to work. So we just took like the US stock, delivered to Mexico. But now that we feel so confident about the growth, we were like, okay, it's time to create like Mexican, perfume and ship them from France to Mexico directly.
In terms of when you were going to take the decision to go to Mexico, did you were afraid of the Mexican market? Like the customs was going to be a pain, there was going to be a lot of fraud, the e-commerce was not mature, I don't know, there was some.
Honestly, you can ask yourself like so many questions, but at the end of the day, our philosophy at Dossier is to always like dare.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't work, we don't know until we try. So, and again, like thanks to you, Josu, thanks to you, Alex, thanks to Brian, you guys like really, we had like hours of conversation about the Mexican market, how we're going to handle these, like how everything works, like supply chain, ops wise, that we're like, you know what? Let's just like send products and then we'll see. And if it works, amazing. And if it doesn't, fine. So our philosophy is really like to take risks, obviously, because also like the perfume industry is a very competitive industry, but at some point you have to take risk. And so far we're super proud and happy because the growth is amazing. And also something that I wanted to let you know is that, I mean, you know, obviously, but when we launched, like right now it's been a year and the Mexican market represents like 14% of our overall sale at Dossier, including like the US, Walmart.
And that was just this year, right? So because in January you guys were at 5%. So that's amazing growth in again, January
like,
to August.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a risk that we took, but we were super happy that we took this risk.
No, and like, you know, the international expansion team, which I lead, you know, I tell every member of my team, we really need to work with these brands and understand what they're going through, right? It's a big decision that you guys are going through.
Yes.
At least my philosophy and what I tell my team members is we want to be as transparent as possible at Kubo with what are the costs, what are the best ways to import, how much is this going to happen, you know, how much is it going to cost you, what are the different pricing for fulfilling the different regions. And we want to give you all that information because we believe that helps you guys make informed decisions.
And it's super important because, again, like thanks to all of the conversation we had before entering the market, we were like, okay, we know like the marketing cost, it's a little bit complicated to know. So that's why we did like a soft launch with like the notify me button, but everything like ops, supply chain, we were like, okay, we know how much like fulfilling it costs, like then like ship our product. So that's also like metrics that were super helpful for us to know, to be able to run our margin and then like to understand the whole process. And also at Dossier, we're truly believer in a way that when we launch in a new country and in a new market, obviously it's not going to be optimal cost-wise, right? So for example, like we took the US stock, it had to pass customs, like do some little tricks in like Laredo, Texas, and then pass customs and then be in Mexico City. And like, you know, like throughout the months, we were like, okay, like Mexico is working, like there
and
is
our team was learning from you guys, and we're learning, okay, now we need to, you know, improve this processing time and help you guys get your stock faster.
Same for the cost as well. We were like, all right, let's optimize the COGS, let's optimize everything. So it's definitely like a learning curve. But,
and I'm trying to go back in my head because, you know, now we have a lot of brands that are starting and we offer a lot of different things. So some brands, they want to send an air shipment right away to just send a little bit of stock while we work through the logistics. And there's a lot of processing, there's labeling, there's registrations. But all of that works out because you guys are a great case. So you guys had US inventory. We did the land shipment via Laredo. We coordinated that. And now we're getting to the scale where I believe we're doing, you know, thousands and thousands of, tens of thousands of units a month, multiple replenishments. And that's where you guys logically took the next step and you said, okay, well now let's go from the manufacturer in France, send
create
multiple
a packaging that fits all the regulations.
Right, and then have multiple containers, and that's and in the end that's the most cost-effective way, and that's what we're doing now.
And
with you
I think
guys
it also really depends on the brand, but for us, like a perfume, like it doesn't make sense for us to do air shipment. It's definitely like it has to be either by ground, like from the US, or by sea. But again, it's all about like improvement, understand, and again, like we would have never been able to produce already at our filial in France with all the regulation that there is in Mexico. So we had to do like multiple replenishment.
And we found you the tariff. Because it's produced in France. Our team went in, we looked at the tariff regulation and said, hey, you can actually get some tax savings, which is huge on the import. And I think this is your top seller here in Mexico, right? Anne Marie Saffron. You want to tell us a little bit more about, you know, how this became your top SKU?
I love this scent so much.
And what your experience has been with it.
Something that is super cool is like when we launched in the Mexican market, we had no clue about which perfumes were going to be the best sellers, right? And something that is amazing is that we realized down the road that our bestsellers in the US are also our bestsellers in Mexico.
Wow, that made it easy then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Amberry Saffron is our bestseller in the US, but also like in Mexico. And this scent is like something that we realize in just like in the US, but also like the Mexican market, is that people are very sensitive to price.
Yeah.
And so we do inspired by perfumes, and we want to be the first alternative to luxury perfumes. So instead of paying like $100 or more, like $200, $300 for a bottle of perfume, with Dossier, you can have like super high quality scents, but very affordable, right? So for example, Amberry Saffron, the original price, it's inspired by Baccarat Rouge, and the original price is like more than $300 like USD.
Yeah.
And we sell this perfume at $49, and you cannot smell the difference. It lasts as long as the original. We craft everything in grass. We have 5 perfumers. We have a nose and an evaluator in Paris. And basically, we create our perfumes like this. And in the Mexican market, they are obsessed with this one because they don't have to pay like thousands of pesos, Mexican pesos for a perfume, and they can have the same high quality scent. But this one, for example, we sell it at 999 Mexican pesos.
Wow.
And so far it's been an amazing scent. And we have more than 80 perfumes in our collection. And something that we really wanted to do at Dossier is to offer like a complete olfactive palette to our customers.
Amazing.
So that's why you have like 80 perfumes, because you have like some ambery notes, some woody notes, some flowers, some citrus. So everyone can find his and her happiness.
Yeah, it's amazing. This is one of your top sellers. And I think we at Kubo, we love being a growth partner for our brands. And so how have you seen our logistical abilities being able to help you? So are you offering, is there a certain amount of items that you offer free shipping? Do you highlight that we can get you product delivered same day in Mexico City? And I believe like 30% of your sales are in Mexico City, right? So that's helpful.
Exactly. And what's super important for us is definitely the AOV. So right now per order, we approximately have 2.5 perfumes, which is amazing. So the way that we build the website is like, we have 1 or 2 perfumes, no discount, and you have to pay for a shipping fee.
And those Mexican consumers, they don't mind paying that shipping, right? Because a lot of times US brands are like, hey, are we going to absorb those costs for shipping, or can we pass that on? And they're fine with it, right?
They don't mind, but at the same time, most of the orders, they have 3 perfumes. And when you purchase like 3 perfumes, you have free shipping, and also you're starting to have discounts. And the more you buy, the more discount you have.
And you guys are smart on your website. Now, I was laughing before we sat down. I was going on your website and I said, I only have 20 minutes to buy 4 perfumes.
Creating the FOMO in here.
But that's smart on you guys, right? So you guys are trying to use our logistics and also be smart about how you're communicating and customers.
And to go back to what you just said, like 30% of our orders are in Mexico City, and it's either same day delivery or the day after, which is amazing for customer experience.
That's 1/3 of your sales, right?
Exactly.
So like I buy it in the morning, and then I come home after work and it's there.
And that's your delivery. And this is really cool because you need to, like, something that we need to understand is like, we are a DTC company. So the only interaction that we have with our customers is like the box, and then also like the whole experience. So once you purchase on our Mexican website and you have like a same day delivery or delivery next day, it's amazing because it's like you buy and it's right in front of your doorstep, right? So that's something that is amazing. And you guys, your SLAs are really cool in a way that like the shipping time is really short, and that allows you to be able to fulfill more orders every day, and also like being able to ship them like faster. So
we're transparent. We show you click to door times, how fast we pack.
Of course.
You can see everything in real time, and you can pull reports, and it's all there for you to analyze.
And at Dossier, something that we track very closely, like we're super, super into our KPIs. And we track like the shipping time, the SLA, how long it takes to pick pack. And like, so far you guys are excellent. So we are super happy to have you as a partner. Because it's going well, and overall the experience, the customer experience is great. People are happy. And also to go back to what I just said before, like the way we wanted to make sure, like, because it's perfumes and because people cannot smell them, because we're like a DTC company, it's super important to show them that they can return it for free, no question asked.
And we handle that for you.
Exactly. You handle all of the returns, everything. So we had to basically like all of the barriers that people might have before purchasing a scent, we're like, okay, let's reassure them.
Yeah.
So thanks to like the customer care team, thanks to the fact that they receive their perfume so fast,
Right.
they can try them for like 30 days. And if they don't like it, they return it for free.
Right.
You handle the returns. And then basically all the returns go to Kubo. And then we give all of our returns to a charity.
Right.
So there is no waste. And all of our perfumes are delivered to a charity to help other people.
And now that reminds me, I remember you guys have like a certain rule in our system for a first-time customer. You're able to give a promotional flyer. You know, what are the ways that you found that the platform to be helpful to really take that first customer and turn them into a repeat customer? What are you guys doing in that front using our platform?
So the way that it really works, like to have more people in the funnel, is we have our marketing influencer program as well as the pay ads. And we always like A/B test, trying new design. So we have an amazing branding team that is doing a lot of design just to make sure to put it out there so people can click and then be on our website. And then we optimize the entire website just so within like 3 clicks, they can purchase. And then after with you guys, everything logistics, returns, everything is being handled by you. And even for the customer care team, they can track everything like on the platform. We can see like the returns, the inventory planning, the inventory planning. We can also see like the orders, like if it's being processing, if it's being packed, fulfilled. If there is, for example, like a client that put a wrong address, like our customer care team knows that they can still like change it.
And if there's a lost package, right, your key account, so, you know, I'm the international expansion team to your primary point of contact, but we have key account managers for every one of our international clients. And it's just a matter of asking us, hey, what happened to order number X? And we kind of do that interface with the carriers to handle those disputes for you, right?
Yes. And something that I appreciate a lot is your team is so available and so reactive.
Thank you.
And again, like we gathered so much knowledge in the US, and sometimes it works in the Mexican market, sometimes it doesn't. But overall, like when we have something that, for example, you guys don't do, you're so reactive, so fast to put, you know, like something new on the platform, always improve the platform.
We're always customer first here at Kubo. You know, that's one of our values.
It's super important.
One of our values, yeah. And I know you guys say you have like 80 SKUs now. Did you launch all those 80 in the very first import, or was it more scaled down? Most of them.
So what happened is like back in the days, I think we had like 65-ish SKUs, and we really starting the first batch of sending perfumes. We wanted to send them all, so we almost sent them all, and then within the past year, we had some new launches.
Yeah.
And then every time we have a new launch in the US, we also try to launch it in Mexico.
Amazing.
And also the Mexican, that's more like overall like Mexico, but also our US customers, they love, you know, our back in stock email, like
that's been big for you guys.
Emails, because
and you can do pre-sales too. Like while we're receiving your inventory, while it's transiting, you're able to still maintain and capture those sales.
So the pre-sale, we try not to do it that much. We try to do pre-sale when we know the inventory is being received at Kubo. And almost ready to be shipped. Why? Because we have like 2.5/3 perfumes per order. So if you have one perfume that is in pre-sale, but the 2 others that are available, you basically block inventory. So we have to find this balance between like, we don't want to miss any sales when we have like out of stock perfume. So we usually put them in pre-sale like a day or 2 before. So we don't block too much of the inventory, but we can still have those sales.
And that's why you guys are the experts, right? We just do what you tell you. So that's a good insight.
It's definitely a win-win partnership.
What's something interesting that you've learned about Mexico from your sales to customers, from your 1 year here that you wouldn't have thought of before you came into the market?
So definitely the fact that we have much less returns, exchange, and cancellation. That's so cool. Another thing that we discussed already is the fact that people are they love social media, and they're always asking, they're so curious, like asking for so many questions. So we can really like educate them. And also like we always need to be proactive in a way that we always need to have like more new perfumes, more SKU, and always react to the demand of our customers. So, you know, we have like TikTok, Instagram, like all of the social media platforms. And people are always asking, oh, can you have this perfume? Or, oh, can you launch this perfume? And then if we have enough demand for that, so we really listen to our Mexican customers, and then we launch it, and and hopefully make them happy.
Yeah, and we're sitting here today in our Kubo's Mexico City warehouse, which we have very closely located to Polanco,
Yes.
one of the biggest areas in Mexico City where the demand comes from. But I'm very excited about the upcoming launch for Dossier in Brazil.
Yes.
I think it's great that we have that kind of cross-country, LatAm-wide perspective. And so how are you guys thinking about this Brazil move? You know, we're in process of finalizing the import right now, but how are you thinking about that market? You know, it's notorious for having extremely high import tariffs.
Yes.
A lot of people are very scared about that. And how have you guys been thinking about marketing, pricing? These are things that I get questions about all the time. And obviously, I think we're helping you figure out the complexity, but what's been your experience so far in the process in Brazil, and kind of what are you most excited about, and how are you thinking about that?
So for us, what's really important above anything is the trust.
Yeah.
The trust is here.
Yeah.
We love each other. We've been doing so many great things in Mexico. And the same way that it started in Mexico, like Brian reached out to us like super cold email. And after discussion, we really feel reassured. And we're like, let's do like Mexico. And now that Mexico is working so well, it's been a year. We have already like, we have so many opportunities of growth. You guys were like, by the way, like we have a warehouse in Brazil. We can do Brazil. And this is like, these are like all the bottleneck, like, as you said, like the taxes, the import, and all of that. So basically, we took your numbers. You guys mastered like an amazing game plan about like how to be able to be in Brazil.
And we showed you, okay, this is the margin you're going to need.
Exactly.
These are the unit economics.
Exactly.
Does this make sense for you? And when you guys are very sophisticated, you guys were able to run the numbers, but that's what
everything.
We want to be transparent with you, right?
We reviewed everything, and it's just like, we know that, and also it was definitely like a learning curve with you guys, but we know that Brazil, they love perfumes. They're obsessed with perfumes. So this is definitely like an amazing opportunity for us. And also like, again, we sell inspired by perfume, like high quality scent, but at an affordable price point. And in Mexico, like the price of perfumes are insane. Like they are so expensive. So we're not there yet, but we feel very strong about the Brazilian market.
And the market is huge, like 200 million plus people, right?
So
it's the biggest.
So we are so excited about that.
Yeah.
And again, we're just going to do the same way as we did in Mexico. Like we're just going to launch the website, put some perfumes with the notify me button. We're just going to see like the cost of the click, like how much it costs also to capture an email. And then what we're going to do with you guys is to ship products from France directly to Brazil, just like a few pallets as like a soft launch, as we call it, just like to see if the entire process of like, you know, like the container.
And that makes sense. We see it all the time. I mean, it's a big, you know, Brazil has this big, scary kind
And also for us, it reassured us because just sending a few pallets, you know that if it doesn't work, of course you lose money, but it's not like tremendous amount of money. And then you ship those pallets, and then you understand like every step of the way, how that works, what are the bottlenecks and everything. And if that works well, we just start to like ship to customers. And if it works well, we have data that is working well. And then we can like send more, more and more. But really Brazilian market is something that with Sergio, we are the CEO of the company. We're so excited about because we do believe that as soon as we're going to launch in Brazil, I mean, finger crossed, but it will be like a tsunami, like orders are going to flow. And then, and again, we will have to learn from the Brazilian market, understand like how people behave, how people interact, how it works. But something that I'm super proud. So yeah, we're super excited to launch in the Brazilian market. And again, the same as we did in the Mexico market, we're going to learn how people interact, the perfume that they love, the price point. We're going to run some A/B tests as well. And just we're so excited because as you said, there are millions of people in Brazil. They are obsessed with perfume. And again, like I think our value is amazing in a way that we offer like high quality perfumes at a very affordable price point. So even if our perfumes are going to be more expensive in Brazil, because obviously there is like so much tax to pay on every perfume, etc. Still, like even if they are more expensive than in the US market, for example, on the Mexico market, it's still going to be so much value for our Brazilian customers.
And Brian York, our CEO, like, you know, and myself, obviously, as the head of the international expansion team, we really want to be, again, a growth partner for you guys. And the cool thing about Kubo is that we have a full team on the ground in Brazil. We have Thiago Pavan, our country manager. We have the warehouse outside Sao Paulo. We have distribution centers. And we try to save you guys the most amount of money at every point and make it very efficient. For example, we have a partner that we bring it through Vitória Espírito Santo. And someone who doesn't know about Brazil says, why do you want to ship to that port?
That's something that
because we save you the taxes.
Exactly.
We save you some taxes.
Exactly. And that's something that at Dossier we're super grateful for is you guys always share your expertise, your knowledge, your input. And it's really valuable because we need to also, on our side, we need to surround yourself with experts, and you're definitely experts. And really, what's the hardest thing to do in Brazil is how can you manage like all of the import and how you can have physically the goods in Brazil, right? And something also that we have to tell to our audience is the fact that it took us not even 6 months to master the whole game plan to launch in Brazil, and that's amazing. That's so cool because for like other companies, it might take them like a few years, right? And us,
and we're
like
taking
6
care of
months.
everything for you, right? You don't need to set up an entity. We're going to process the payments for you. So I think you guys are a great case.
And also that's also super cool is because you're a startup. We're also a startup. So we want to go fast. We want to go big. We want to go bold.
But we want to do it the right way.
And we want to do always the right way.
So,
because like, I think one of the main values of the importer of record
is
what you just said.
Yeah.
Is that we short the go-to-market time literally from 2 years
to 6 months.
Yeah.
The cost, the investment that you need to make, it's super short.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I said what you said. Okay, we launched Mexico, Brazil. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, but it's not going to put the company.
That's why we do like a soft launch with just a few pallets, like in Brazil, because it's so much more expensive than Mexico, right?
Yeah. Oh, and I think that's a great point that you raised, right? Because the philosophy of the international expansion team is, look, it's really hard to enter a market, and it takes a long time. It takes months and months to set up an entity, open a bank account, get the registrations. And what we do in the international expansion team, we have 2 big services, as you know. One is our importer of record service, where we work very carefully with the brand, understanding the product. So we work and see what's the timeline to register your product, what's the labeling.
Who owns what?
Yes, and making sure that's done correctly. We also do the tariff analysis for you. And then we work very closely with a customs broker to make a timeline that makes sense for you guys.
Exactly.
And that makes sense for the amount of units that you want to launch. And then once you get your product into Brazil and Mexico, we also offer a merchant of record service, which is our entity underlying, processing the payments, paying all the taxes, all these headaches, these administrative headaches that delay the timeline to launch. And that's what we're trying to do.
And that's something that is amazing. And that's the reason why instead of taking 2 years to launch in a new market, we only took 6 months is because, and even for us, like we don't want to do like an entity if we don't even know if it's going to be a right fit for us and a right market for us. So far it's been amazing. And again, like all of the bottlenecks that we had, you guys always helped us to overcome them to make sure that we'll be able to launch and fast and well. And again, I think like on both sides, what's really cool is that, so for example, Brazil, we're not there yet, but we will in a few weeks. And we don't know if it's going to work. So that's why we don't want to have like an entity. We don't want to have like all of the stuff that are very like heavy, like administrative wise. And, thanks to you guys, we're just going to ship a few pallets, see how that works. And again, I'm going back to the data, like as soon as we launch, as soon as we will like import the goods, as soon as they will be in the Brazilian warehouse, we will see how everything works.
And we'll work together, right? We'll like how long does the timing work and how can we find optimization? And I think the great thing is like, we're here in the Kubo warehouse. You can see all these boxes that are, going to be shipped
ready to be shipped.
Ready to be shipped. And it's going to be the same thing for you guys in Brazil. It's the same processes. It's the same tech. From your side, it's just a different store, but the same platform, right? Like it's all the same thing.
No, it's amazing, and also the fact that we are already used to the Kubo platform in Mexico, it will be the same as Brazil, so it's super smooth, right? Yeah. Because we know how that works. We know and we can just like follow the same process that we've done in Mexico with Brazil, and again it just go back to like let's try, let's see. You guys are an amazing partner, and same like Brazil is so tough for like import taxes, and you've helped us all the way. You also help us with your network because we didn't know what do we do for product regulation, and you help us with that. How do we do
pricing,
like
I think you wanted a sanity check
exactly
on that.
The price point, like the benchmark and everything.
Oh,
So-
I mean, of course, we're happy. We're happy to help. It's been great.
It's been amazing.
And do you plan to launch in all Latin America?
I mean, honestly, guys, I'm your girl. Like, if you're ready, like in Colombia, I mean, that will be amazing because
Yeah,
again, like
and we can help you open that country, and we
Yeah.
open that country for ourselves.
And
We like
also-
Colombia too.
exactly, and also now that we, like we produce everything in France, it's the same packaging,
Yeah.
so it makes the experience so easy because it's the same packaging in Mexico, same packaging in Brazil. You do little tweaks if needed, and now we have mastered also with our filler, like we know how to produce. They can support our growth. So yeah, sky's the limit, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying
What
to.
are your thoughts of e-commerce companies that launch like shipping everything from like an app, but in your case it's different because it's perfumes.
It's dangerous goods.
Like Plátano Melón, they started Mexico from Spain.
So for us, at the beginning, it didn't make sense to ship everything from our filler directly to Mexico because one, like, what about the product regulation, right? And then also we didn't know like which SKU was going to work versus the other one that wasn't going to work and everything. So we just took like the US stock, ship everything to Mexico. And now that the growth is here, we went from like 0 order within 3 months to like, I think it's 2,000 orders per month.
Yeah.
And now that it's been a year, it's more than 8,000 orders a month. We were like, okay, phase 1, we're good.
Complete.
Like we have the perfumes, we know what's working, we have a little bit of data to back everything up. Now it's time to go to our filler and produce for those international markets.
Yeah.
So right now our filler based in France, they are doing, so we have our US packaging, what we currently have in Mexico, but in the future, phase 2, we're gonna have our international packaging and it's going to be the same for Brazil, for Mexico. We are also opening in UK, Canada, Australia.
Amazing.
And it's just like the same packaging. But we could not have done that at first because you need to gather data. You need to understand like the best sellers and the market also.
And Mexico was the first international market that you guys entered.
It was
with
the
us,
first.
And because of that track record, you're able to go back to your investors and say, hey, international is actually something that can work. And we were just you were a US focused brand, right?
And also our US growth has been honestly amazing and so exponential. But at the same time, we're like, all right, it's time to develop a new presence in like other markets, like international retail, because we don't want to put our eggs in the same basket.
Right.
And as we keep growing in the US, you also need to have like other channels of distribution to have even more revenue, right?
And competition is very fierce, right? Costs for advertising and meanwhile
in
here
the
in
US,
Mexico,
and that's something that we realize in Mexico. Like overall, the e-com industry is less competitive than in the US, so it's more opportunities for us.
Right.
Also, in terms of marketing influencer, it's less competitive in Mexico than in the US, and there was so much room for opportunities over there. So that's also amazing. And then like pay marketing wise, like our CAC, our cost per click, everything is lower than in the US. So it's just like an amazing opportunity.
How did you find those influencers? What steps did you guys take to find those? You just,
So we have an amazing influencer team at Dossier.
Oh, amazing.
And basically they just like go on social media, they collect, as many influencers that they can, and then we send them perfumes. And that's how that works.
So it seems to me that it's not rocket science to enter Mexico. It's basically you had your website in the US, you just translated to Spanish.
Yes.
You took a lot of the same strategies that you were using in the US and found it to be much cheaper to implement those strategies in Mexico. Obviously, there's complexity, which we helped you guys out with, trying to make sure that we're optimizing for the taxes, for making the imports as fast as possible, to make sure that your stock gets here safely to the warehouse. But, I think it's a great partnership.
And just making sure that we have all of the perfumes so we don't miss any sales, so we can be even, even have like a better like paid marketing program and everything. So it's good.
Fantastic, Inez.
Your product could be shipped directly from your fulfillment center in Pennsylvania. Would you have started different?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Ship directly to Mexico?
So the thing is, like, our perfumes are dangerous goods, so it's very complicated to ship them by air.
But imagine that you have another product.
Honestly,
and you can ship it by air from Pennsylvania. You're going to pay an expensive rate.
I think for us, our philosophy was always to
make it good at the first time.
And also like develop a network with local people that can help us. like for us, it makes so much more sense to have a warehouse
and also
in
the
Mexico.
Time
exactly.
also, because like, look, like, if I'm ordering in Mexico City and then...
And also it's just like, it's more money, like it's air shipping, it's like the lead times are longer. So for us, it makes so much more sense to have a local warehouse, work with local people, ship everything locally. And also I think it gives us more room for flexibility, you know, because if you have everything like in the same country, as we discussed, like Mexico City, our orders placed in Mexico City is like same day delivery or like next day delivery, which it would not be the case. And no, I think for us, again, like Mexico, everything started thanks to you guys, because you reached out to us and you were like, hey, we have a warehouse in Mexico. We'd love to have you on board. Let's make it happen. You reassured us on like different, you know, points that we wanted to discuss with you. And we didn't even think about shipping from the US directly to Mexico. And again, our perfumes are hazmat and dangerous goods. So air shipping, it's really complicated and almost impossible. And right now with the Mexico warehouse, everything is by ground. So that's definitely something that, we didn't even think about it. It's just like the way that it happened, it was like this. And for us, like cost-wise, margin-wise, everything makes more sense the way we did it together.
At the end, I think that all the big brands, they know how to do e-commerce.
Yes.
It's not like they're testing their business model. They're just testing a new market.
Exactly.
And you guys are the ideal case for us, because you guys are killing it in the US. You know e-commerce. And I think you recently received a letter from us, right? Celebrating a milestone. What was that about?
It was... So 2 months ago, we sold 7,000 orders just within the same month. And just last month, it was like 8,000. So we keep growing like every month. And so Rosu, the CEO of Kubo, sent us like a letter. And it's just so beautiful because we're all working in the same direction, but it feels so good to work with people that we appreciate, that we feel comfortable with, and that we, you know, like we share like our affection with each other. And it's just like so beautiful. And you know, we all work so hard that at the end of the day, we need to surround ourselves with people that we love working with.
And share the same values.
Share the same values and just like make it happen. But again, like, you know, we work so hard and we're always like next step, that it feels good. So when Josu sent us the letter, it just felt so good to be like, okay, let's just sit for a minute and like see everything that we accomplished.
And
because
reflect on what you've done.
Every day, we don't even realize what we do because we're like, all right, like this is, and also we focus on like, some bottlenecks, like what can we do to improve, what's working, what's not. But it feels so good just to sit and be like, damn.
And to see how much you've done in 1 year. Only
what
1
we
year.
Accomplished in not even, exactly, like in just a year. That's just beautiful. To take the time to reflect and be proud of everything we have accomplished together and many more things to do.
Yes, yes. You know, I think from all of us at Kubo, it's really a pleasure to receive you here in our warehouse, to have you amongst us. We think of you guys as a valued partner. We're excited, you know, we're excited for the growth that we know you guys are going to have here in Mexico, in Brazil, and who knows, maybe other markets in Latin America. And so, you know, on behalf of all of us at Kubo, you know, thank you so much for coming.
You guys are amazing.
And
amazing partner.
It's been great,
thank you for everything.
great to have you. Yeah.
Super happy. Thank you so much.
Awesome.